Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited about this one I got for you all. We have one more day, not only for some poker, but the Olympias this weekend, and tomorrow is the Expo. Haven't been since the Cove, but it's back here in Vegas, so can't wait to check it out and get even more inspired to get up off my ass and work out. Speaking of getting inspired, I know most of you follow my channel because of the poker, but I always promote health and fitness. So if I can at least inspire one person to better themselves, getting healthier, then that's a win for me. So starting the day off like we always do every morning on our trips with breaking a sweat, we're doing some back and biceps today, and there are a few more people in the gym than the previous day. So it's nice to see that I'm not the only one with the same mentality about health and fitness. I hear it all the time as a personal trainer. People say they don't know what to do or how to work out, or they don't feel like they're doing it right. And even if that's the case, just move, do something. I mean, I know everyone knows how to use a piece of cardio equipment. A treadmill, you walk on it. A bike, you sit and pedal. An elliptical, same thing. Pick one, get on it, do it. Everyone knows push-ups, sit-ups, try some. And in most cases, even in hotel gyms, the machines have diagrams, pictures on them, how to start and how to finish the movement. So just read it or watch. Yeah, be that creep. Observe how someone else is using the piece of equipment. Copy what they do and how it looks. Start off with the lowest weight possible. And if that's not heavy enough, if it's not challenging, pull the pin and place it in the next slot to make it a little heavier. And nowadays, there's so many apps and other tools that you can use that show you exactly what to do. Hell, even if this is your thing and enjoy watching the workout part of my videos, I can make more that just show exactly what I do and how I do it. I really wouldn't mind starting to do that. So if that's something you guys want to see and find a use for, let me know down below and we can figure something out. But enough of that. Today we decided to play at the Bellagio, not going crazy playing 5-10 or 10-20, but somewhere in between. They had a lot of 2-5 games going on, so that's what we choose. Sit down pretty much right away, and we start with the $500 table max and take our seat. It's a little bit of a later start than we wanted, around 7 p.m., but hoping to run good, pure, and make up for the big Omaha loss we had a few days ago. I picked up on it pretty quickly that this table was very passive, and the first real hand we get involved in, we look down at pocket queens on the button. It folds around to us, and we make it 3x to $15. The small blind folds, and the big blind tosses in $10 more for a call. We're heads up to a flop, hoping for no overcards, and we get our wish. It's 9-4-2 rainbow. A super dry board, expecting the big blind to check and flow as usual, but he doesn't. He leads out for $15. Yeah, he was in the big blind, so he could really have anything, but I doubt he has two pair, 9-4, 9-2. I guess he can have 2-4 suited, but unlikely. Only thing gonna be worried about really is a set. We were probably gonna c-bet for that amount anyway, so we make the call. Other than the betting lead now changed, the pot size is the way it should be. So off to a turn, and it comes the 5 of hearts. It brings in the backdoor flush draw and a few straights, but again, unlikely. Action on the big blind, and he takes a while on this decision, longer than normal, which is a little suspicious. And he bets again and makes it $70 and overbet. Very interesting. I think it's too nitty to fold now, and I don't think a raise makes much sense. There's nothing nutted we can represent, maybe besides ace-3 suited. So that leaves only one other option, so we make the call. The dealer gives us our change, and off to a river. Not even sure what we want to see, but it comes the king of diamonds, probably one of the worst cards in the deck. Obviously, it's an overcard to our pair, but not only that, if he happened to get frisky with king 3 or king 6 of hearts, taking a stab on the flop, then picking up both backdoors on the turn, he now got there. Or we could have been behind the whole time, who knows. He's first act again and hoping this thing goes check, check, but he's not going to make it that easy for us. And he fires that third barrel and makes it a little smaller in relation to the size of the pot in the amount of $80. That's just an annoying sizing, really. I think we just played this hand bad, and the run out didn't help us either. So we just elect to throw our cards away. If he bluffed us, then congratulations, because I really had no idea what he could have had that took this line. Like I said, this table is really passive. It's already been chopped numerous times in the 15 minutes I've been here. And at this point, we go up to the front and ask for a table change. We come back and the chops continue. And I finally had to speak up and I was like, all right, guys, no more chops. We have to straddle or something because this is just dumb. We're in the big blind in this hand, and again, it looks like it's gonna be a chop, but the small blind raises to $15, finally. It's on us and look down at a decent ace, so we make the call in position, and the flop comes above average. It's ace, ace, king, rainbow. Action on the small blind, and he makes a continuation bet to $10. We snap call, as we would with most of our holdings, because even if we didn't have trips, it's unlikely he has anything as well. So we're off to a turn, and it's just overkill. It's another king. It's a king of diamonds. The only bad thing about this is it's going to be hard to get more money in the middle unless he has the last ace in the deck, and in that case, it's a chop anyway. So action on him, and he bets again, another small amount though, only $20. And what would you guys do with basically the nuts? I'm serious, what would you guys do? Because sometimes it's more difficult to play poker when you have the world. It feels like all options are available to you, but at the same time, none of them are available to you, if that makes sense. Either way, it's wrong. But we just make the call in position. Maybe he fires again with a king on the river. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. So we call, and the river is irrelevant. It's a 3 of clubs. The small blind thinks for a while, looks back at his cards, then decides to check it on over to us. Now what do? How much do we bet? There's $90 in the middle. Again, seems like every option is wrong. If we bet small and he snap calls with a king, then we should have gone bigger. Or if we bet too big and he folds a king, then we should have gone smaller. I really don't know, but ultimately we decided to throw out one black chip. I don't think it mattered because right away he snap folds. He probably didn't have anything, so I think we played it okay, normal, whatever. A few hands go by, just looking back every chance I get to try to make eye contact with the front desk to get my table change. But we don't get called yet. Lucky for us, we get a premium in the big blind, ace king offsuit. The under the gun 1 opens to $20. It folds around to the button, who makes a call. The small blind folds, action on us, and we have a solid hand, so definitely gonna 3-bet. We throw out one black chip and announce raise. The under the gun 1, before my chip even stops bouncing, insta calls. The button gets out of the way, so we're off to a flop, heads up, and the flop comes ace, king, queen with 2 spades. I don't really know how to feel about this board. On one hand, yes, we have top 2 pair, but on the other hand, what are we really going to get called by besides the only hand that's beating us, pocket queens? If we bet, he's going to fold every other holding, but would hate to check, and he checks back a flush draw or pocket jacks and gets lucky on us. So I think a C bet is a must, regardless. So we do and throw out $75. He doesn't take too long before going all in for a little under $300, and I'm just disgusted.
How much? What's 3 something? Really, pocket queens? Show me one. Just one queen. Show me one queen. Ah, it's so gross. Should just 4-bet it. It would have been fun. Top 2, brother. But I mean, I call, but yeah.
Is he or not folding?
No, I'm not folding, but that sucks. Like, really?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
For $100.
So it was a good 3-bet, huh? Yeah, I knew what he had.
Wow.
See, I really thought about folding. I thought about it. You guys saw me.
That's like one part. I had the queens, man.
That's what I was saying. I was like, show me one queen, brother. You're good.
I can't show you.
Of course he had pocket queens. Why wouldn't he? Just one of those things the poker gods wanted us to lose. If they did like us at all and wanted us to win or lose the minimum, the board would have come out queen, jack high or something like that, and we can get away from it. Or even ace high, all spades, then can let it go. But no, we're much hated by the poker gods at the moment. My thinking was maybe you could do the same thing with ace queen or even ace jack suited, top pair plus a royal draw, and just say F it. But no, wasn't meant to be. We add on 5 black chips to our stack, and if that wasn't a sign for a table change, I don't know what is. And we actually get called in the middle of the very next hand for the table change and head over to a new table. So in the game already for $1,000. 4 hands into this new table, we look down at ace jack offsuit in the cutoff. There's a low jack limp for $5 and a high jack raise to 20. We're next to act and not in the calling mood, so we 3-bet to $65. Only the hijack makes the call, so heads up to a flop in position, and the flop comes 10-9-9 with 2 diamonds. The hijack checks and flow to us, and those cards are much better for him. And even if we did have kings or aces, we check back some percentage of the time. So we do the same here in this situation. The turn comes, a 2 of diamonds, brings in the front door flush, and we have 1 diamond, not really sure which one, but we have a flush draw of some sort. So when he checks to us again for a second time, we make a delayed C-bet and throw out $50. Again, playing it just like aces or kings. He makes the call pretty quickly, so off to a river, looking for some help, which doesn't come, it's a 5 of hearts. He checks again for a 3rd time, and I don't think he's folding a 9, or any pair really, and maybe our ace high can still be good. So we check back, and sure enough, he had us beat with pocket 7s. A bad board, maybe 3 barrels gets it done. Hard to say, so have not been on the winning side of things thus far. And to make matters even worse, some more of the passiveness continues on this table as well. I don't get it. It seems like the chopping pots vibe traveled to the middle of the room. Like, what the hell? It folded the last 3 hands, all chopped, the small blind and big blind. So I was getting frustrated, to say the least. I told myself I'm raising this next hand no matter what it is. We're in the hijack and we look down at queen 6 offsuit. F it, we're raising it, I don't care. So we do when it folds to us. The cutoff mucks, the button calls, and the blinds get out of the way. So we're heads up to a flop, and it comes king, queen 3, rainbow. Not bad. We hit a pair, a decent pair too. We're first to act, and already had it in our head that we're going to fire some barrels, and flopping a pair makes no difference. So we make a C-bet and throw out $20. The button thinks and does make the call for 20. The turn comes, and what do you know? It's a 6 of diamonds. We hit a sneaky 2 pair, and we don't have to barrel as a bluff anymore. We're going to do it for value, and we do, and throw out $65 this time. Action on the button. He shuffles some chips, and eventually does put in the money for a call. Now just hoping the board doesn't pair to counterfeit us, and luckily enough, it doesn't. It's an offsuit 2, a 2 of clubs. We're first to act, and I want to go big because I think we do the same with ace something of diamonds, a missed flush draw. So going to be doing the same thing for value.
All in.
The dealer counts out our chips, meaning the button still has his cards, so no snap call means we have the winner, because any hand beating us should have already put the money in the middle. So praying for a call, he tanks for about 15-20 seconds, and eventually does let it go. I was going for it all, I wanted it all. Was that a little too greedy on my end? This end was only possible because we were sick of all the chop pots. I don't think we've ever open raised queen 6 offsuit in any position, let alone the hijack. After stacking our chips, we head back to the front desk and request another table change because this chopping stuff isn't flying with me. We make the request and play another orbit or so and are just card dead. And even when we do pick up a hand in the small blind, it folds around and we just chop. Everyone is just folding. This is ridiculous. Just a few hands later, we hear our name and get moved to our 3rd table of the night. Hopefully this one treats us a little better. We get involved pretty quickly at this new table. Just our 2nd hand dealt in. We have king queen offsuit in the small blind. The under the gun 1 opens to 15. The next act calls, the cutoff folds, and the button calls. Action on us, and let's start on the aggressive side with this new table. King queen, some Broadway cards, is a solid hand, but not the best going super multi-way first act. So we 3-bet and make it 75 to go. The big blind, not too long after, announces all in. He has over 2,000 in his stack, so it's safe to say he covers us. He was a young Asian player who didn't speak much English, as I was quick to learn. Everyone folds to us, and nothing really to do besides let it go. I did like our 3-bet originally, but not when next to act cold 4-bet rips it 7x. As we got to playing more, I learned he was a solid player, super GTO, I mean to the absolute max. His bet sizings and moves were robotic, computerized it felt like. I wanted to get involved with him so bad because not a lot of his hands went to showdown, so I wanted to see what he had. I think maybe one hand we do, but that's a little later. About 20 minutes go by, we pick up a pretty hand, pocket kings in middle position. We raise it up a standard 3x to $15. It folds around to the blinds who make the call. So we go 3 ways to a flop. No ace, please. And no ace, but not the best board either. It's king 5-4 rainbow. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? You flopped top set. That is true, but in such a dry board, 75% of the kings are accounted for. It's hard to get max value. It's like in the wild, the predator doesn't just kill the baby deer right away. It toys with it a little bit, waits for the mom to get close because she thinks it's safe, and boom, even a bigger meal. Same kind of thing here. You don't want to go for the kill right away. You want them to think they have a chance and win more later. Both blinds check to us, and I hate slow playing monsters. I just hate it. I really do. But I had a feeling if I bet anything, they'd fold, and I was going to be on super tilt if that happened. So I checked back, hoping they catch up. The turn comes a brick. It's a 2 of diamonds, bringing in the full rainbow. I guess ace 3 or 3-6 is now ahead, but unlikely holdings. The small blind checks again, and the big blind takes a stab and bets out $35. We think for a little bit, and if he's just taking a stab with a draw, we're going to charge him. And if it happens to be a set over set situation, then we're going to build this pot. So we throw out 1 black chip and announce $90. To my surprise, the small blind jams for $150. The big blind mucks his cards, and we obviously snap call. I think he mumbles something like, "You got it." The river comes, an ace of hearts, but he doesn't fold his cards right away. He looks back at them a few times, and I wouldn't be surprised at this point if he flipped over a 3, the way my night has been going. But he doesn't and returns them to the dealer face down. It wasn't exactly the way I thought the hand was going to play out, but still happy with the result. This next hand we're going to go over, we play bad. We have ace queen offsuit in the small blind. There's an under the gun 1 limper for $5. The cutoff raises to 15. The button gets out of the way, action on us, and a really good hand in early position. So we 3-bet again. Nope, we do not. Remember, I said we played it bad. So we just smooth call the $15. The big blind folds, and the under the gun 1 limper calls $10 more. So we're 3 ways to a flop out of position, and it comes queen 8-5 rainbow. I guess we get bailed out with a good flop, hitting top. We check in flow, as does the under the gun 1, and luckily the cutoff puts in a c-bet to $30. We want to keep all his random bluffs in and not really worried about a king coming off. I mean, if it does, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So we just make the call for 30. The under the gun 1 folds, so now we're heads up, and it's pretty much a blank. It's a 4 of hearts, brings in the backdoor flush draw, but shouldn't really improve anyone. We don't want this board to get any scarier, like a random 6 or 7, and we have the queen of hearts to fall back on, so we lead on this card for $65. As soon as the dealer counts out the chips, he snap folds. Just bad from the start. Still nice to win, but I didn't like how he played it. Less than an orbit later, we look down at pocket kings again, and we redeem ourselves a little bit from last hand because we do 3-bet this one in the cutoff. There's an under the gun limp for $5, and under the gun 1 raised to 15, folds to us, and we make it 55 to go. Only the under the gun 1, who is the original raiser, makes the call. So we're heads up to a flop, which comes no ace again. It's 6-4-2 with 2 spades. It's not a board that's going to hit our range at all, so when the under the gun 1 checks to us, we check it back. It's not going to really hit him either, calling $55 pre-flop, unless we're up against a set, so mostly check back for pot control. The turn comes off a 5 of clubs, and again, such a lame board, but when he checks in flow for a second time, we can't check behind, so we throw out a $30 bet, hoping to get some action, but we don't. He snap folds right away. Great starting hand / situation, 3-betting and getting called, getting heads up, just not the follow-up cards to come out. Oh well. The very next hand dealt in, we downgrade our pair to pocket 4s this time in the hijack. There's an under the gun limp, folds around to us, and we raise things up to $20. The cutoff folds, and the button, who was an older gentleman, OMC type, 3 bets to $50. The small blind gets out of the way, and the big blind, who only had $5 invested, puts in $45 more, and the limper gets out of the way. The OMC has $500 behind, but the big blind, you can see all his chips, has a mountain of them. So with already $20 invested, we have a good price and good implied odds to win a big one if we do hit. So we throw in $30 more, and we're 3 ways to a flop, looking for 1 card and 1 card only. And the flop is not that card, it's Queen 8-6 Rainbow. The big blind checks, we check to the aggressor, and he makes a continuation bet to $65. The big blind gets out of the way, and your kings or aces are good, sir. We fold as well. If only the 6 or the 8 was a 4, there's no way an OMC player is laying down an overpair on that kind of a board. It seems like at this table, we're just fluctuating pairs, high, then low, now back to high, because we have pocket queens in middle position in this hand. We open things up to $15. It folds to the button, who calls, and that entices both blinds to do the same. Not the outcome we were looking for, going 4 ways with pocket queens, but all things are good because we flop a full house on double ace queen board. One of the players in this hand is the big blind from the last hand, who has a mountain of chips. Let's hope he has ace jack or some kind of ace, and we can double up. The blinds check to us, and with 3 other players in the hand, one has to have an ace, so gonna build this pot, and we c-bet and throw out $25. The button makes a weird type of slow call. He had the chips out in front of him, but he didn't let them go right away. Just being observant. Maybe I was overthinking, I don't know. But both blinds fold, so now we're heads up against the player we wanted. And the turn comes a 5 of hearts, a really safe card. We're first to act and can't take our foot off the gas, targeting any ace, so we throw out 1 black chip and announce $75. But apparently that was too much because he snap folds. I'm guessing he had a small pocket pair that didn't hit. Wouldn't that have been nice if he did hit that pair? After that hand, we go on a little bit of a bad run. Not really losing, but getting frustrated. Was raising and no one calls when I had something. And when I had a mediocre type hand, I got 3-bet and forced to fold. So a lot of that the last few hours until this one comes up. We look down at the best starting hand in poker, pocket aces, and because of the last few hours getting no action, we play this hand not so standardly. There's a middle position open, a big open to $25. It folds to us in the cutoff, and we just smooth call. Again, like I was saying, it was happening time and time again. We would raise or 3-bet and get no action with premiums. So that's what we do, we smooth call. Everyone else folds, so we go heads up to a flop, and it comes Queen 5-2 Rainbow. The only hand we're losing to is pocket queens, but let's not think about that. The middle position player, first to act, reaches for some chips and makes a c-bet and throws out $30. We're not going to try to set off any alarm bells. We just smooth call again. The turn comes, a super safe card. It pairs the board. It's a 5 of diamonds. The same situation as the flop. We're only losing to that one hand. He slows down this time and checks. And most amateur players would check queens full here. But we can't check this one back. We got to build this pot. So we throw out a smaller bet to $40. And if he does have us beat with that one hand, we'll definitely hear from him now or on the river. He doesn't take too long to make the call. The river is a blank, it's a 7 of spades. Like I said, now is the moment of truth. We're gonna hear from him on what he has, if he has a hand or not. He decides to check to us, which I doubt he would do with a full house. So that is our green light to throw out a bet. The question is how much? He has about $350 in his stack, and there's almost $200 in the middle. We want to target a queen, king queen suited, queen jack suited. And I think an all-in is just a little too much. We're not getting called by worse with a jam, so we make it a pot-sized bet and throw out 2 black chips. He basically snap calls. We flip over our aces, and he flips over his and has 1 notch down pocket kings.
Could have won more if I 3-bet. You got out cheap. I messed up.
Left him with $150. Should have been mine, all mine. Can just hear and feel the disappointment in my voice. Even winning the hand when you know you should have won more if you played it different. But maybe if we 3-bet, he just calls the $85 or $90. The flop is the same and he finds a fold somehow because he would now be losing to pocket queens as well. I don't know, just trying to make myself feel a little better about the situation. But the truth of the matter is, he lost the minimum, no doubt. If only I knew what I know now. We just hit midnight, so already the next morning. And the next hand we're going to go over, we look down at 9-8 suited in the low jack. There's a limp first to act. We raise it up to $20. And one by one, everyone and their mom calls. Absolutely no respect. And we go 6 ways to a flop, I think. Not looking too good, but the flop comes 8-4-6 rainbow. So not the worst. We have a pair, top pair. It checks to us and kind of want to just thin the field. So we c-bet and throw out $25. The hijack calls, next act, the cutoff calls. All right, this is not going as planned. Luckily, the big blind is the only remaining caller. So 4 ways now to a turn. And the turn is the 8 of clubs. Bingo, let's go. We catch a super disguised trips. The big blind checks to us and there's a decent amount of money in the middle. And if someone has a draw, they're going to have to pay for it. So we go with a larger bet, $110 for value. It's not super big in relation to the size of the pot, but it doesn't really matter because one by one, they all snap fold. With that hand, we're almost back to even, slowly climbing, slowly. Moving on to this hand that I just want to shed some light on. We have 6 deuce offsuit in the small blind. There's one limper somewhere. We just call the $3 more and the big blind checks his option. The board comes all high cards. It checks around. The turn is a queen, so another high card. We check. The big blind folds his cards, which I also thought about, not gonna lie. And the other player, the hijack, checks. The river is another high card, queen of clubs. We both check and flip over our cards and play the board. So just a little tip, never fold your cards when it's checked to you. Unless 100% for sure you know you aren't winning. For example, if you have the same hand we had and there's multiple players and the run out is similar and you're 6 plays with 4 or 5 other players in the hand, if any of them have a card higher than a 6, you lose, then I think it's okay. But like in this situation, just don't fold because you never know. The river could have been a 10 and we all would have had Broadway. Weirder things have happened, so you just never know. This one, I also want your guys' opinion on. We have ace queen offsuit on the button. There's under the gun open to $15, folds to us, and the player who opened has not put money in the middle unless he had it. So we just call because I feel like if we 3-bet, he's either gonna be trapping or gonna 4-bet, and we just lose. So we call, and the big blind calls $10 more. So we're 3 ways to a flop, and it comes ace high. The big blind checks and flow, and the other gun makes a c-bet to $25. Pretty standard thus far. We just call because if he does have kings, he's 100% gonna slow down on the turn. So I don't think a raise here makes much sense. The big blind lets it go, and we're off to a turn, and it comes a blank. It's a 7 of clubs. The other gun, first to act, thinks for around 20 seconds or so. I guess he was really analyzing the board and thinking he's going to check to us majority of the time, but he doesn't. He assembles some chips, and it's not a small wager either. He throws out $145, 1.5x the size of the pot. He only leaves himself with $350 behind, and I doubt he's doing this with kings, so I feel pretty confident with all the factors I mentioned that we're just beat. So we snap fold. Let me know what you guys think if this was a tight fold. It's getting pretty late and the Olympia is 7 hours away, but we're still down. We're so close. We just need that one more decent pot to get us over the hump. We're clawing, scratching, trying everything to do so. Let's see if these pocket 5s can get the job done. We're in the under the gun and we open things up to $15. The button and the small blind are the only callers, so we're 3 ways to a flop. Please 5, make it easy on us. It's all small cards, but no 5. It's all around it. 7, 6, 4 rainbow. The small blind checks and flow to us, and I think the only way to win this one is to bet and hope they fold or get lucky and hit our open ender. We throw out a C bet, $20. The button comes along right away, but the small blind folds, so we're heads up now, and the turn doesn't improve us. It's a 4 of diamonds, pairing the bottom card. And I think betting or checking are fine options, but we want to protect from overcards, so we continue and make it $55. He makes his decision quickly again, but that is to fold this time. After this hand, we stack and count our chips, and right before the dealer is going to give us our cards in the big blind, we count $1,002. Let's go. I didn't plan on playing this long, but being stubborn, I didn't want to quit until I came out on top. A whopping $2 profit. Coming back from being down early feels really good. Way bigger accomplishment than winning a few hundred early and then leaving up stuck. Hope you guys enjoyed all the hands and the table hopping, and we're off to the official outro. We did it. We made a profit. I mean, what can I really say about this session? We did a lot of table hopping, more than we usually do. I mean, we played on 3 tables. I mean, that first table, you saw that ace king versus queen's hand, but we did, not gonna lie, we did ask for a table change 5 minutes or so before that. So it wasn't just because of that hand. I mean, it did kind of suck. I mean, I knew he had queens, but I was like, really? Ace king versus queens? Was it ace king queen flop? What are you gonna do? Whatever. But added on $500, so in for a total of $1K, out for $1,002. Let's go. Like I said, we fought all the way back, but super fun, I guess. Frustrating at times session, because I mean, like I said, usually we don't table hop that much, but we just had to. The first table, kind of the same as the second, just fold, fold, fold. I mean, on the second table, didn't I get like king, queen? No, queen 6. I was like, I'm just gonna raise this hand. Like, I have to. And yeah, garbage hand. I was like, I got to make something happen. We can't just keep folding, guys. Like, this is BS. So after that, asked the floor guy to, I got a table change. So we did. The third table was better than the first 2. We got into a lot of hands, but I mean, not just that. The table was more talkative. People were chatting, having some drinks. I mean, that's honestly way better than just everyone all serious. I mean, I'm a serious guy most of the time. Like, I keep my mouth shut, like I tell you guys, until somebody says, hey, where you from? Well, all that stuff. But yeah, we got into a lot of interesting hands, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the table hopping and the comeback. I mean, hey, sometimes a comeback even feels better than being up stuck. I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. So felt really good, but we're gonna call it a night. It is a little past 1 in the morning, and we have the Olympia, the expo tomorrow. So kind of want to get back to the room, get some sleep, got to work out before, get a little pump, because I know I'm gonna feel super insecure tomorrow. All these guys, I mean, they're bigger sideways than they are tall, and even some of the females are massive. They have more testosterone in their body than I do. But no, it's gonna be fun. I'll show you guys probably a few clips of that. Gonna be a lot of people, gonna be some friendly faces, I guess. I mean, I haven't met these people. Some of them I met, but most of them just see on social media. That's gonna be fun, and gonna get a lot of protein samples, so definitely gonna have my protein for the day tomorrow, so that's gonna be awesome. But yeah, what else can I say? 3 days here in Vegas, well, 3.5, 4 days, whatever. But 3 sessions. If you followed along all these past videos, we did Omaha, Pot Live in Omaha the first night. That didn't go too well. Second day, what did we lose? Like 106, 108 bucks, and then won $2 today. So I mean, down on the trip, obviously, but I mean, only down $100 on Hold'em, so not bad. Pot Limit Omaha is not our game, and we're gonna stick to 2 cards from now on. But I'm gonna get some sleep, get some food, and I will see you guys next time. Good luck at the tables, good luck in life in general, and just have a blessed day, blessed night. You woke up, you saw this, remember that. But remember, I'm Matty Ice, this is Games Poker. Peace out. I told you guys I'd show you some clips of the Olympia. A lot of walking around, taste testing, random bars, ice creams, cookies. My stomach was in knots from all the different combination of flavors, but it was still worth it. Watched the classic physique prejudging, which was insane. Saw Daddy C-Bum just dominate, and even some of my other favorite physiques that I follow, like Wesley Vissers, the 2024 Arnold Classic physique champion. I'm kind of biased because I tend to root for and respect more the taller athletes, because I know from being a taller guy myself, it's harder to fill out your frame when there's a lot more surface area to cover. It's a lot easier to look thicker when your limbs are shorter, just the way it is, the way life is. So got to check that out, and Chris did end up winning his 6th Mr. Olympia championship and announced his retirement, so congrats to him. And there was so much more other things happening, even had a booth, people doing tattoos, and huge lines to meet these famous fitness competitors and influencers. I'm still glad I can hold my own size-wise when going to these things. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. But that is all. That's really all I have for you guys. And until next time, Vegas, Gains will be back.